Well, Mike, we just got back from Washington again, and we want to let our network people know what's happened on our two major issues. And let's do the AMP first because it'll be the shortest.
Well, AMP, as we all know, has been tied up in a lawsuit, thank goodness, because that's what slowed it down and stopped it. What we know now is that CMS has not challenged the lawsuit, so it's gone back to the judge. It'll be up to the judge to decide the timing and what the decision probably going forth is going to be. What we do also know is that there's a congressman who's friendly to farmers who's very much interested in putting forth a bill that delays AMP until '09. If we can get that done and get support for that, I think we'll find that'll work well. I think that we all know that what we want to make sure is that nothing happens with AMP until '09 and the new Congress comes in.
Okay, well, thanks. Now let's go to our major issue, and that's House Resolution 971, which is the pharmacy negotiation bill. Can you bring us up to date on that?
Yeah, I think we all think 971 is a very, very important bill. 971 is the bill out there that destroys the antitrust lock that's been on pharmacy for a long time and gives us the ability to go negotiate for better reimbursements from the PBMs. I think where we are today is, for those people who may not know, is that we have gone through the Judiciary Committee and passed out of the Judiciary Committee in a very timely manner. We then went to CBO, the budget office, to decide how much money that was going to cost. And contrary to what the PBM said, which it was going to cost in excess of $29 billion, they came back with a $700 million figure, which is $70 million per year. Now, we all think $70 million a year is a lot of money, but sometimes Congress looks at $70 million as not being so bad. So we have to try to understand that. Now, currently where we are is in that intermediate zone between going from committee to the floor of the House. We have had two meetings with Representative Hoyer, who's a majority leader of the House, who will decide what goes to the floor. We've had two meetings in the last 10 days and have gotten very positive response. Currently, we have offered three ways that CBO can solve what is referred to as a pay-go type situation, meaning that if you cost the government money, you have to find the money to offset that cost. We've offered three ways to do that, and the majority leader seems to have accepted those very well, and now we're waiting for CBO to come back and also state what their belief is on those recommendations.
And what do you think is the most important thing that our individual pharmacists out there in the Congressional Action Network could be doing?
Well, what's going to happen is, hopefully very shortly, we're going to get the word that this is going to start moving to the floor. And as all of you know, I hope, that when we were going to Judiciary Committee to be heard, we asked all of you to put out the word to your congressman and call your congressman and ask them to speak to Chairman Conyers about bringing that to the floor. You did that very, very successfully, to the point that Chairman Conyers told us he had never seen that type action on the floor before be as effective as that turned out to be. Now what we're asking everybody to do is the same thing with Majority Leader Hoyer, and that is to go to their congressman in their district and ask their congressman to go to the leader, both the majority leader and the minority leader, Boehner, and ask them to be sure and bring this to the floor as quick as possible. It's amazing how much pressure comes to bear when the congressmen themselves are asking leadership to move a bill. That's a lot different than you and I and Bill and everyone else out here as pharmacists asking our congressman to do something. It is that request from your congressman to leadership that makes the difference.
Okay, Mike, with that said, what's your best guess about action on 971?
Well, what we would hope and what we've been working for by meeting with the majority leader these two last times is that we can get this bill moved to the House floor in the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, somewhere within a reasonable time frame. That all winds up being helped a great deal by what we just said about members going to the leadership saying, please bring this to the floor. I think we've got a good opportunity to do that. I think we've got good support in the House, and I believe earnestly that if we bring it to the floor, we can pass this. And what I would ask all of the people watching this video to do is to be sure and contact their members to ask them to do that. We will be sending out faxes, keeping everybody posted on what's going on, and certainly on our next video we'll bring everybody up to date on what action has occurred to that point.